Stage 5. Well, we pulled the strap up a third time, and now we can take this rope off because now there's so much tension from the camel strap that the rope is basically ineffective anymore. It's not doing anything because the strap is way tight now, but not at its final tension. Take the rope off and get that out of our way. Sometimes this one really gets hard to undo because it got quite a bit of pulling on it, and she's tight. Alright. Hope the camera's doing well. I don't want to have to redo this. I'm not going to redo it. So hopefully you can see it. And the needle nose pliers really are helpful. Save your fingers, and soon we'll be able to see how we've done on the top. Voila. Okay. Final pull. Or at least potentially the final pull. Drum is starting to want to make its voice come out. I'm checking to see if the top is nice and even. I don't see anything pulling down. The bottom ring is pretty good. You can see the very last part of where I tied off. It's a little closer here. So what my little trick is that I'm going to, instead of starting at the beginning here, which would tell me logic would do, I'm going to pull here a little bit just to get this ring nice and pulled out if I can, and that will help keep this ring. So you still have a little bit of give with everything at this point of the game. There's actually, it's not so tight that this ring won't move. So I'm going to pull from about here to the end and see if I can't pull that ring a slight bit. I will use the hook here. Many times the last pull is where the drum is uneven with itself because of all the previous tension that's been put on it as it's coming around to the final tie-off. Okay, let's see if that did anything. It did. It did help. So now I'm going to start at the beginning and get this tension. One other thing to do at this point is to look at the tie-offs and maybe even them out just a tiny bit. Nice to make these two tie-offs as close as possible to each other. That way you're not losing. You want even space between each one of these if you can. Even space between the bottom ring where the long 35 feet of strap comes through. That also helps keep the tension even around the base, which makes it even at the top, or at least helps keep the drum in tune. That is one of your major concerns with the tabla, is how well the strap and the head were put on determined in the long run how well the tabla will stay in tune. as I'm going around, I'm using my back. Every time I pull here, I'm pushing, trying to keep my back straight. You don't want to get a hurt back. And watching, I'm not pulling terribly hard, but trying to, every time I pull, give it the same strength, the same muscle pull. Hope I don't get a muscle pull. Watching the plate or the level angle of the tabla head at the top, sensing if any kind of problem is happening with the ring up here. Looks all good to me so far. And we're almost coming to the end. This is the end. Oh, beautiful friend. The end. Okay, so looks good. That's normal where this is a little off. Now I'm going to tie it off and we'll do the block. Next process.